This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Iraq pumped 4.16 million barrels per day, BPD, of oil in January, below its allowed limit of 4.28 million barrels of oil per day under a pact with other so-called OPEC plus producers. Data from state-owned marketer SOMO seen by Reuters showed on Thursday. Iraq, like several other OPEC members, is struggling to pump more even as prices trade at a 7-year high. Its output actually fell by 63,000 barrels of oil per day from December, the data showed. Iraq's January exports were affected by adverse weather conditions, technical issues, and maintenance on export facilities, an Iraqi oil official told Reuters.
Japan's Mitsui & Company, Mitsubishi Corp and Itochu Corp on Thursday each lifted their annual profit estimates to above 800 billion yen, $7 billion, thanks to higher commodity and energy prices. The three trading houses, in addition to Marubeni Corp., raised net profit forecasts for the financial year ending on March 31 to record levels, after similar upgrades 3 months ago, helped by a recovery in global economic activity from the pandemic-stifled levels of 2020. Japanese trading houses, just like their global rivals, have benefited from sharp climbs in the prices of key natural resources from copper and coal to liquefied natural gas, LNG.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Energy prices for millions of Britons will soar from April after a 54% hike to the regulatory price cap, forcing the government to stump up £9 billion, $12 billion, of fresh support for already cash-strapped households. Responding to the record global gas prices that have sent almost 30 British energy suppliers to the wall, regulator Ofgem said the cap on the most widely used tariff would rise to £1,971 a year from April, the same month that taxes rise. The Bank of England also raised interest rates again on Thursday and said inflation would soon top 7%, leading to one of the biggest cost of living squeezes in recent decades.
An oil production and storage vessel exploded off the coast of Nigeria early on Wednesday with 10 crew members on board, though it was not yet clear if there were any casualties or how much crude might have spilled into the sea. Nigeria's Sheba Exploration and Production Company Limited, SCPCOL, said on Thursday that flames had engulfed the Trinity Spirit Floating Production, Storage and Offloading, FPSO, vessel following the blast a day earlier. At this time there are no reported fatalities, but we can confirm that there were 10 crewmen on board the vessel prior to the incident and we are prioritizing investigations with respect to their safety and security, SCPCOL Chief Executive Ikemefuna Okafor said in a statement. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. Accelerating sales of electric vehicles have fueled a scramble for nickel, cobalt and lithium, propelling prices of the battery materials to multi-year highs. Phasing out internal combustion engine, ICE, cars in favor of electric vehicles is part of the energy transition and efforts to cut carbon emissions. More than 6.36 million electric vehicles were sold last year globally compared with 3.10 million in 2020, data from Row Motion shows. China accounted for half of the total last year and 40% the previous year.
Global copper smelting activity powered to a 13-month peak in January as operations in China ramped up ahead of seasonal construction demand, data from satellite surveillance of copper plants showed. The number of inactive smelters fell to the lowest level since February 2018, according to a statement on Thursday from commodities broker Morex and Savant, a satellite analytics service it launched with EarthEye in 2019. The strong start to the year in the Savant measures of copper smelting activity corroborate our own observations from the physical markets, which is an industry supply chain that is ramping up to meet strong downstream demand, said Guy Wolf, Morex Global Head of Analytics.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
World food prices rebounded in January and remained near 10-year highs, led by a jump in the vegetable oils index, the UN Food Agency said on Thursday. The Food and Agriculture Organization's FAO Food Price Index, which tracks the most globally traded food commodities, averaged 135.7 points last month against an upwardly revised 134.1 in December. That figure was previously given as 133.7. Higher food prices have contributed to a broader surge in inflation as economies recover from the coronavirus crisis, and the FAO has warned that the higher costs are putting poorer populations at risk in countries reliant on imports.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.